Hello, this is Mike from Mike's Jazz and R&B Reviews. On January 23rd, 1967, Motown Records released an album titled The Supremes Sing Holland-Dozier-Holland. This album was a well-deserved tribute to the songwriting team that had made the Supremes one of the most successful pop groups of the 1960s. That songwriting team consisted of two brothers, Brian Holland and Edward Holland, and a third man, Lamont Dozier. Beginning in 1964 and continuing until about the end of 1967, early 1968, they wrote and produced one hit record after another for the Supremes. By the end of the decade, the Supremes would have racked up 12 number one hits. Not all of those number one hits were written by Holland-Dozier-Holland, but most of them were. Now, one critic has described this album, The Supremes Sing Holland-Dozier-Holland, as featuring catchy melodies and soulful harmonies. And he was right. I believe that when this album came out, the Supremes were really at their peak. And this album was especially memorable for me because about 2 weeks after it was released, I saw the Supremes in concert. And this was the first time I had ever seen them. And sitting in that beautiful theater in early February 1967 and watching Diana Ross, Mary Wilson, and Florence Ballard work their magic on stage was just such a spectacular experience. I recall how after almost every number they received a thunderous standing ovation. It was definitely a night to remember. Now, as I sat there in that theater watching the Supremes perform, I guess many other Supremes fans had no way of knowing that 1967 would be a transformative year for the group, because later that year, two major events would signal major changes in the group. The first was during the summer of 1967. Florence Ballard would be ousted as a member of the Supremes and replaced by Cindy Birdsong. And the other major change was that they went through a name change. Instead of just the Supremes, they became Diana Ross and the Supremes. Okay, back to the album. The Supremes Sing Holland-Dozier-Holland has 12 tracks. Now, one thing I need to say, back in the 1960s, when the Supremes Sing Holland-Dozier-Holland was released, albums were usually released in mono, which means all the music comes through one channel, or stereo, when it comes through two channels. And on this album, as on many of their albums, there are some songs that I prefer the mono version, and there are others when I prefer the stereo version. So let's take a look at some of these tracks. Track 1, You Keep Me Hanging On. I think this is one of the greatest, if not the best, of all the Supreme hits. A stunning song written by Holland-Dozier-Holland, known for its throbbing and hard driving a guitar sound, and also Diana Ross's singing was especially strong on this album. She really deserved kudos for this one. You Keep Me Hanging On was also among the Supreme songs. This song was one of the most covered of all the Supreme songs. A lot of people have done this song. One of the most famous, or there have been several. One was a rock group in the 60s, Vanilla Fudge. They did a very popular cover version of You Keep Me Hanging On. Another person, and this really surprised me, believe it or not, Reba McEntire. She also did a cover version of You Keep Me Hanging On. And also in one of the last albums that she produced, the Queen of Soul, Aretha Franklin, did a cover version of You Keep Me Hanging On. And You Keep Me Hanging On is one song on which I definitely prefer the mono version. Now, that's my personal preference. Okay, track 2 is the song that I think is the weakest song on this album. A song titled You're Gone, But Always in My Heart. Just to be very brief, this song, it's a very monotonous song. It just very monotonous. It just not the best that Holland-Dozier-Holland ever did. All right, track 3 is the gorgeous Love Is Here and Now You're Gone. And like You Keep Me Hanging On, this one also went to number 1. Once again, Diana sings with drive and conviction here. And on this one, I prefer the stereo version. And the reason is because the background vocals with Florence Ballard and Mary Wilson are much more powerful on the stereo version. A very beautiful song, and one of the nice touches is the way Diana not only sings but gets to do like these little speeches in the song. A very nice song. Let me see, where am I? Track 4. A song, I Guess I'll Always Love You. Now, this song was also recorded at Motown by the Isley Brothers. Yes, the Isley Brothers recorded for Motown during the 60s. And to be honest, I prefer the Supremes version of this song. I think the Supremes beat the Isleys on this one, not by much, but I just think I think that female voices just work better on this song than male voices. Okay, the next track, a song titled "I'll Turn to Stone." This song is associated with the Four Tops. And once again, I prefer the Supremes version to this one. And I think the stereo version is a little bit better than the mono version on this one. Going back to I Guess I'll Always Love You, I can take either one, stereo or mono on that one. On the next track, which on the album would have been the first song on side 2, it's the Same Old Song. Another song associated with the Four Tops. Now here, I think the Supremes version falls a little short. For one thing, the tempo of the song seems to be a little bit faster than on the original Four Tops version, which I don't think was an improvement. So, the Four Tops went on this one, and I can take either stereo or mono on this one. On the next track, a song titled Going Down for the Third Time. This is one of the highlights of the album. A wonderful song by Holland-Dozier-Holland. And I hate to keep saying it, but on this one, Diana really gives us, she gives a powerful, her singing is just really strong on this one. She sings with just a gusto and just a power that you don't really associate with her. And Florence and Mary are really nice in the background. On this one, I strongly urge the mono version, which I think is far superior to the stereo version. Our next track, a song, Love Is in Our Hearts. Definitely not the strongest thing that Holland ever wrote. Very syrupy love song. Whenever you have a song which has a lyric about the birds in the trees singing lovely melodies, it's not the best. But it's the harmonies with Diana, Mary, and Flo are nice, and that kind of saves it. So either the mono or stereo on this one. The next track, another winner, Remove This Doubt. And this is a beautiful song. Just listen to the way it starts off with those very dramatic violins, and then the piano comes in, and then Diana comes in, and then the background vocals. This is a wonderful song. And a very interesting song, item about this song. This song was covered by none other than Elvis Costello. Elvis Costello did a cover version of Remove This Doubt, and he does a pretty good job. His version's kind of hews kind of closely to the original Supremes version. Okay, the next track, a song titled There's No Stopping Us Now. A nice song. A very optimistic song, a nice beat, very nice song. Let me go back to Remove This Doubt. On Remove This Doubt, definitely the mono version. Definitely the mono version on Remove This Doubt. And on There's No Stopping Us Now, definitely the mono version. Okay, the final track on this album, Love Is Like a Heat Wave. Now, as many older fans of Motown will know, this was Martha Reeves and the Vandellas' hit. I think they recorded it maybe in 62, 63. Now, this is their song and always will be their song. But I think the Supremes give them a good run for their money. The Supremes version, as you might expect, is a little smoother than Martha Reeves and the Vandella. And the Supreme version, it works in their own Supremes way. Okay, one other thing. In 2018, the Supremes Sing Holland-Dozier-Holland was reissued in a special 2 CD package. Now on the first CD, you got the mono and the stereo versions of the album, as well as some alternate versions of some of the songs on the album. And in these alternate versions, you can see how the songs progressed while Holland-Dozier-Holland were working on them, how they took stuff out and put stuff in. It's very interesting to listen to how the songs evolved. Okay, on the second disc, this is really good, you get a copy of a concert that the Supremes did at the Copacabana nightclub in New York City in May 1967. And to my knowledge, this would probably have been, as far as I know, one of the last times that you get to hear a Florence Ballard sing in concert on record with the Supremes, because if this was May, several months later she was gone. So, in 2018, the Supremes Sing Holland-Dozier-Holland, the expanded version. And the good news is that this expanded edition, is available on YouTube. So if you want to listen to this album, be sure to find the Supremes Sing Holland-Dozier-Holland, the expanded edition, because it is there. All right, to wrap this up, let me do my rating. On a scale of 1 to 5, I would give the Supremes Sing Holland-Dozier-Holland a 4. Okay, if you made it to the end of the video, and even if you didn't, thank you so very much for listening. And until the next time, this is Mike from Mike's Jazz and R&B Reviews.